What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, I want to give you guys a quick market update as we do have some new bearish signals popping up on the charts, some on the higher time frames, some on the lower time frames. And I am leaving town, so I might not be able to update you guys as urgently as I typically do. So I want to give you some of the key levels that you guys can watch in case we do get a decent move down while I'm gone. But before we get into it, make sure you hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and click that notification bell so you don't miss any of these urgent market updates or tutorials that we upload to the channel. Now, we're also going to be taking a look at the DXY and the SPY as we've had some movements on these as well. The SPY, we actually did come down and hit our exact target that we called on the stream last night. So we're also going to be taking a look at that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the charts. So here we are on the Bitcoin daily chart. Now, just to update those of you who have not watched a video in a little while, we did have this double green dot that formed on the daily time frame. And this was kind of the thing that was, I was looking at because we did have this double green dot as well as this bullish divergence here on the 16-hour time frame, which is now becoming invalidated. But yeah, we'll come back to this in just a second. But on the daily chart, obviously, we had that double green dot, as you can see right here, but we are starting to see that VWAP roll back over to the downside. Now, not impossible for us to potentially find some support on the zero line before coming back up, but with that VWAP starting to round off, it does look like we could potentially see this daily green dot get rolled over on and invalidated. So that might have been the little gusto we had. We got that green dot, came up, retested this point of control 2 times before coming back down. Now, moving on down towards the 16-hour, you guys will know we were kind of teasing this. Actually, not the reason I made the video. Actually, I wanted to make this video to update you guys on the 12-hour yellow X that was printing, and this is actually the first time I am seeing this pop up on the 16-hour now as well, just kind of adding to the bearish sentiment, at least here in the medium or short term. So add it to the list, boys. We got a yellow X printing on the 16-hour, generally bearish. Obviously, that would invalidate this bullish divergence that we did have with these lower lows and the higher lows on your momentum waves. Didn't really get much gusto out of this. Similar to the green dot, we put in the bullish div, came up, tested the POC, and we are just banging our head against this POC. But more about this level in just a second. But 16-hour printing that yellow X, generally bearish. 12-hour yellow X printing as well. This is also pretty bearish, guys. These yellow X's don't lie. If you look at the last 12-hour yellow X that we printed right here, and you just kind of measure out what kind of damage that did, it did bring us down about 17%. If we see this yellow X play out in the same fashion, it would be bringing us all the way down. Oh boy, this would be an alarming drop to about 16K. So if we see this yellow X play out similarly to the previous one, we would actually be putting in some lower lows. Now, I don't know if that's going to 100% happen. Just because that previous yellow X played out at 17% doesn't mean that we have to see this one play out to 17%. However, when you see these yellow X's pop up, typically they do perform similarly. When you have a yellow X pop up on the 12-hour, typically they do bring you down a similar amount each time. Let's keep moving down the time frames here. Also just a general thing that is making me feel a little bit more bearish is obviously your money flow is kind of ticking up back here, but you are generally coming out with your money flow, right? Generally, your money flow is coming to the downside, showing that money is leaving the asset. And you also do have your money flow coming back out on the 16-hour and back out on the 12-hour, generally bearish there as well. And coming over to our 2-hour, just to add insult to injury, guys, we do have a confirmed yellow X on the 2-hour as well. So typically when these yellow X's pop up, guys, they typically do mean business. They don't play out 100% of the time, but if you back test these yellow X's, they do play out more often than not. This last 2-hour yellow X did bring us down about 6%. And if we take a look here, 6% down from this yellow X would bring us, guys, you can't make this up. This 2-hour yellow X, if it does break us below this spider line, does have the potential to pull us down below the spider line and bring us down for that exact almost 6% move down to the value area low. And if you watch this channel or the BitBoy Crypto Show in the morning where I do TA on that show as well, you guys will know this is a level we've been watching for a while. And now seeing this yellow X pop up on the 2 hour, this does have the potential to bring us down to this level. And when comparing it to the previous yellow X and seeing that that same percentage move would bring us right down to this value area low, it kind of lines up. Now, moving on to our micro time frames here, the 15-minute now printing a yellow X as well. Today is the day of the yellow X, guys. These things are popping up everywhere. So yellow X printing on the 15-minute as well, 12-minute, and the 10-minute. So these things are popping up everywhere. So I do think if we are going to break this spider line, there is no better time than now with all these yellow X's popping up on the higher time frames, the medium time frames, and the lower time frames, feeling generally bearish. Now, one thing to note is we are coming up to some serious support. Now, it doesn't mean just because these yellow X's are popping up that you want to just FOMO into a short position. We are coming up to some serious support here at about 19,500. As you can see, we have respected this level many times. 1, 2, and now we are coming down for a third test. So not the best idea to FOMO into a short position at support. So I'm not saying that you just want to short the heck out of these yellow X's without doing any other TA. So just be careful FOMOing into these shorts. However, now that we're talking about the spider line, let's bring up the levels that we're watching. And guys, they have not really changed if you watch the channel. The levels on Bitcoin remain the same. Your major level of resistance remains this POC sitting at about $20,525. You can see we've tested it many times. We hit it once here or twice right here, and then we hit it again almost perfectly right there, and now we are on our way down. And as long as we remain under this point of control, again at $20,525, I am remaining bearish in the short term, right? That is your local resistance right above you. It's been very strong, so keep that in mind. However, we do have the spider line at 19.5. If we lose this spider line, this is a main level I'm watching. If we lose this spider line at 19.5, bearishly retest, we could get a confirmation with a yellow X or maybe a blood diamond or something on that retest. If we get a bearish retest here, we could wind up having a pretty quick move down to our range lows at the value area low right here at about 18,825. Probably going to find some support at $19,000, even being it is psychological support. So keep an eye out for that as well. But if we lose that spider line, bearishly retest, guys, the next main level I'm watching is the value area low at 18,825. Now, if we lose this value area low, there are 2 other levels that I am looking at to get a potential bounce before I start getting mega bearish on Bitcoin, right? So if we lose our value area low, we want to get a quick bounce because as you guys know, if you watch the channel with volume profiles, sometimes you will come out of the value area, kind of mess around. We do have the spider line sitting right here at about 18,470 or 18,450. So we could come down and hang out down here for a little bit. And you guys know, once you leave the value area, and you don't bring any new volume in on the volume profile, you will likely get sucked back into the value area. So if that is going to happen, I am watching this spider line to hold support. But if we lose this spider line, we could potentially be on our way to, in my opinion, our last hope before making some serious moves to the downside, which could make sense if we find ourselves in this position. It could make sense to get a decent move to the downside because you want to remember we have that weekly confirmed yellow X, and that could have the potential to bring us down a good bit. That 786 is going to be my last level of hope for a strong bounce to the upside. If we lose this 786 Fibonacci level right here, I will be looking at lower prices for Bitcoin. If you're curious where I'm looking, I am looking lower towards these levels. Again, that's if we wind up breaking all this support. We do have a decent bit of support below us. But if we do wind up breaking those lows and making lower lows from our previous 17.5 low, I will be looking for price to find some serious support and start to range in the $14,000 to $12,000 range. But we're not there. Let's cross that bridge when we get there. Again, we do have some strong support below us. We have that value area low being the main level we're watching, and then that 786 Fibonacci level as a last hope at about 17,800. Now, I also do just want to bring you guys over to the SPY as we've seen it make some moves to the downside as well. Now, if you guys were tuned in to our live stream last night at 5:45, I do those every single weekday, guys. If you don't know, you can check me out live every weekday at 5:45 p.m. on the Frankie Candles YouTube channel. Not going to be live tomorrow, though. Just a heads up. That's the point of this market update is I will be gone tomorrow, so I will not be doing a stream. Now, we were talking last night. If we lost this level of support, we could get a very quick move down to this level at about 390. And guys, you can't make this up. These lines are from last night's stream. We were saying the top of this box would likely be your next stop if we continue to lose this level of support. And now let me delete these just to kind of clean things up. And as you can see, guys, we nailed that to the almost to the single digit right there. You could see we came down and kissed that level of support. So super happy that we were able to see that happening before it actually played out. Now, if you're wondering about how I actually knew that this would happen if we lost that level of support, it goes back to volume profiles, guys. I talk about volume profiles all the time on my channel because I think they're one of the most useful things that you can have on your chart. Now, as you can see, we had this horizontal level of support, which did match up with a little spike in volume right here. However, you could see right here at this horizontal line, if we lost it, you could see that we do have this little dip in volume here, this little gap in volume. Now, typically when you see these gaps in volume, they can make for a quick move down, right? There's no volume in here giving you strong support and resistance. Now, I will be honest, this is not the biggest volume gap. This is just a little bit of a gap, but you can see that it worked out perfectly. As soon as we lost that level, you get this big candle that goes right down to your next higher volume node, which as you can see is right here. So you have the high volume node right here, you had a higher volume node right here, but you had the gap in the middle. So I knew that if we broke this level of support, we could get that quick move down to that next high volume node, which happened to be at the top of this purple box. That's how I got the level, and that's how I was able to predict that when we lost it, we'd get that quick move down. So generally bearish, guys, the SPY coming down, typically Bitcoin will follow. Now, again, I do want to bring up the DXY because we like to have that three-dimensional view or four or five-dimensional view on the market. We don't just want to look at crypto. We want to be able to look at the US dollar. We want to be able to look at the stock market. We want to look at other things that can give us clues to what Bitcoin and crypto might do. So as you can see here, guys, the DXY has broken resistance. We talked about this on the stream last night. Shout out to everybody that was on the stream. But you could see right here, we had this level of resistance at about 109. At about 109.29, and we were saying if we break this level of resistance, we could potentially come up here, flip it to support, and we could start working our way higher up into the resistance at the top of this ascending channel. So we have started that move. I did just want to alert you guys about that. We have broken resistance. If you come down to the lower time frames, it does look like we could potentially come down, try to flip this to support. And if we pull a local golden pocket, you see we do have some form of confluence here. You have the golden pocket right underneath this resistance level. So we could potentially be breaking out here to retest the 382 or even potentially the golden pocket here before continuing higher. Maybe we come down and test this previous level of resistance to flip it to support. But you guys can see here, if you come down to the micro time frames, we did bust out of this resistance, flip it to support. Look at that perfect bullish retest. And then boom, it absolutely rips. We are now have come up and we are now retesting the 382 Fibonacci level right here at about 109.53 to potentially continue higher. Now, this would be bearish for Bitcoin. This is probably, this is part of the reason why you see Bitcoin coming down right now. It's because the DXY is coming up. So I did want to point that out to you guys. We have been watching this resistance for some time. Now, checking in on Ethereum, as you guys know, yesterday we were talking about the bearish retest. Now, you guys know, if you watch the stream and the channel, you will know we were bearishly retesting this local golden pocket. We are now still below this golden pocket. Now, some levels I am watching on Ethereum are going to be this level right here, which is a value area low, and that is coming in at about almost $1,500 even, right? You have that psychological support as well as it being a value area low, so would be expecting at least some support at this level. And if we do get a strong bounce here, I would be looking up at the POC at about 1622, and you do have the confluence of your local golden pocket here. The POCs a lot of times will line up with a local golden pocket. So that is a strong level of resistance. As long as we remain under this level for Ethereum, I am remaining a bit bearish. And just to update you guys on my open positions, I am in an Ethereum scalp short here, up about 3%. So we're just getting started here. But yeah, just to update you guys on that. And I am also in a Matic short as well, up about 14% at the time of this recording. So I know you guys like to see the trades, so I figured I'd just let you know my open positions at this moment. So probably going to be locking in gains on those shorts here pretty shortly, no pun intended, as I am leaving town, guys. Probably going to try to decompress a little bit. Not going to try to stare at the charts all day long on vacation. So I am going to lock in gains on those and just let them ride. Hopefully, we can get some more gains out of those. If you guys want to sign up and long or short your favorite coins, don't forget you could check out our Femex link down below. We have worked out an awesome deal for the Candle Mafia. Depending on how much money you deposit, Femex will deposit some extra bonus funds for you to trade with, and it helps us keep the lights on here at the Frankie Candles YouTube channel, so it's a win-win situation. So with all that being said, guys, I think that's all I got for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Frankie Candles out.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah, we winning by a landslide.